Hey guys, it's Ethan. Sorry, this video might be a little shaky just because I don't have anywhere stable to put it right now, so yeah, sorry about that. So this week's topic is coming out advice. So, oh boy, coming out is a difficult thing, and the first thing I'd say is don't do it unless you think you're ready. Because if you get pushed to do it, or just if you get pushed to do it, it doesn't happen as well as it could, and it kind of just sucks. And also, you might not be prepared to say what you need to say, so yeah, just all in all, you just definitely shouldn't do it unless you think you're ready, because if you're not ready, then you're going to be way more likely to freak out, and admit defeat pretty much, because that's kind of what I did, and I'm in kind of a crappy situation as far as that goes, so don't do it unless you're ready, definitely. So next thing is probably just make sure you know what you're gonna say, what you need to say, because I think if you rush into it and you don't plan it out first really well, then you're either you're gonna say way too much and you're gonna get really confused, or you're not going to say enough, and they're going to have no idea what you're talking about, and they're not going to understand where you're coming from. So you got to, just figure out what you need to say. I mean, it's important to tell them, I think, personally, it's really important to tell them that, this isn't changing you as a person. You're still the same you. You're not going to all of a sudden take on this whole new personality because you're still the same person. You just got to let them know, because a lot of parents don't even know what it means to be trans, so just, make sure you tell them what being trans means to you, and, if you can, let them know, what you plan on doing with it, a lot of parents would be, confused. You gotta tell them what you plan on doing, as far as transition-wise, if they'll listen to you, and, I think a big thing is also be prepared for rejection. And as bad as that sounds, it's important to prepare for rejection, because more often than not, sadly, people aren't going to get accepted, and it is how it is, and you just kind of got to work on it. So, definitely don't go into the conversation without being prepared for rejection, because if you're not prepared to handle it, everything's just going to be a shitstorm if they don't accept you, and it's going to be a big deal. It's going to make it way harder on yourself, and it's already going to be hard, so, you don't want to make it harder on yourself. Sorry, I know I'm kind of, moving around a lot. I'm trying to get comfortable. Anyway, yeah, so next, I would say you need to figure out how you're going to come out. So, you could do it in person, you could do it in a handwritten letter, you could do it in email. I wouldn't suggest doing it over text, but I've heard a lot of people have successful stories with emails and letters if they couldn't do it in person, and, I don't know. Sometimes it's better to do in person, and sometimes it's better to do it, in writing. So I think it's best to kind of decide, assess your own situation and see what you think is best, because, it's going to be different for everybody. Where, I came out to my mom in person, and I came out to my dad in a letter, and I really wish that I would have came out to my mom in a letter and to my dad in person. Just the situation, I didn't think it through very well, and, my dad was upset and felt disrespected that I didn't tell him in person, whereas my mom sat there and screamed at me for 2 hours, which she probably wouldn't have done as excessively if I would have wrote her a letter and given her more time to think about it. On another note, make sure they're in a good mood, at least, if you can catch them in a good mood. Try to do that, because my mom was already kind of having a shitty day. She didn't feel good and stuff, and I was kind of being pushed to do it, and that was my thing, is I wasn't ready, and I was being pushed to do it, and my mom was having a bad day. So I honestly think I don't expect that it would have gone completely 100% awesome, but I think it would have gone way better if I would have made sure I was prepared, and if I would have made sure that she wasn't, gonna, if she wasn't having a bad day. If she wasn't having a bad day, it probably would have gone better, and she at least wouldn't have said some of the things she said to me. And in turn, I wouldn't have said some of the things I said to her. So all in all, I think it would have just been a way better situation, at least, if I would have been prepared and I wouldn't have been pushed, and if my mom would have been having a good day. So if you can, make sure that whoever you're telling is in a good day. I'm also kind of just assuming that this is helping come out to your parents. just because I think parents are like the most difficult, you know, like with other people generally it just kind of happens. I don't know. I haven't come out to like most of my immediate family, so like I can't really give you advice on that because I don't want to, you know, I haven't even been through it. I haven't prepared myself for it or anything, so, you know, as far as that goes. But so this is, yeah, pretty much all just like for your parents. Sorry I didn't like specify that at first. Ignore that dog. So yeah, honestly, I think it's hard to give advice for something like this because the situation is going to be different for everybody. Like every single person's going to have a different story. Their parents are going to react completely differently, and you know, you never know what they're going to say, so it's kind of just hard to like assess the situation. Really, that's what you got to do, is assess your situation, see if you want to come out in person, over the phone, over a letter, like whatever you want to do. You need to assess that because that's going to be like the first step. And then you got to make sure what you're going to say. Like, you know, try to think of rebuffs for anything they could bring up, you know, like what about this? What about this? And make sure you have like answers to every question they could possibly have, you know, which you probably already have, but just make sure that your ideas are organized and, you know, just so you're not like all over the place when you're trying to explain, because it's already going to be a tense situation. I'm really sorry about this dog. I have to do my videos outside because I don't got anywhere else, so sorry about that. Moving on. Found a better place. Yay! Okay, so anyway, yeah, so just make sure you know like what you're gonna say and you have your ideas figured out, because all in all, like, that's the best thing you can do. And